Hey everybody, Mike here, and welcome to my spoiler-free review of Bumblebee, a Transformers prequel, you heard me. Directed by Travis Knight and written by Christina Hodson, starring Hailee Steinfeld and John Cena. So this movie takes place 20 years before the first Transformers movie, which takes place in 2007, and I gotta say, this is quite the departure from Michael Bay's films. I mean, there is a completely different style of filmmaking, and it's just overall, to start out with here, it is just such a wonderful movie. Great film. I know I'm jumping the gun here on getting down to the plot elements and characters and stuff like that, but it's just such an enjoyable film for G1 fans and Bayverse fans alike. You get a little bit of both mixed in there, and it's just wonderful film. So we'll go down and we'll look at all the details here. I'm going to try to make this fairly short, so let's get to it. As far as the plot goes, very simple plot, very easy to follow. I really don't even need to go over much more on that in the spoiler-free version of my review. It's just right to the point, very simple. Very unlike the previous 5 Transformers movies. Just there's not much to talk about with the plot. It's there, it progresses throughout the whole movie, and it really focuses a lot on Hailee Steinfeld's character Charlie Watson and Bumblebee. That is literally the main focus of most of this movie. Now, for the human characters, Hailee Steinfeld did a wonderful, wonderful job on this movie. I'd have to say that she was the best lead human character in a Transformers movie. I really like Shia LaBeouf in the original Transformers trilogy, but just the way Hailee Steinfeld just owned this role and just put so much heart and emotion into it. It was just, she did such a great job. As far as Memo, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, he was played by, now here's another pronunciation problem. I have heard news outlets say Jorge Lindenberg Jr. and George. So it's one of the, we'll call him Lindenberg. So Lindenberg, he played Memo, and look, his character was not needed in this movie. However, he did a good job with the character. He was funny, had some good banter with Hailee Steinfeld's character, and he was a nice element to the movie. Like I said, completely unnecessary character. It could have just focused more on Charlie and Bumblebee, but he was there, and for being an unnecessary character, it wasn't a bad character by any means. And as far as Agent Burns, played by John Cena, he's kind of exactly what you would expect him to be. He did his role and did it the way you would expect, and it was not bad. It was just John Cena playing a military guy. That's what it was. But he did have some good moments in the film, too. So there's that. And then as far as the family of Charlie Watson, you have the mom, the stepdad, and the brother. Brother, not in the movie too much. He has some good moments. The mom was decent, I guess you could say. There was nothing that stood out about her character. The stepdad really shined. He has great comedic timing. That was a real surprise for me. As far as the Transformers go, they actually have personality, and not just the forced yo what's up personality from Transformers the Last Night, even though I kind of found that funny. These Transformers had their own distinct personalities and how they carried themselves. Shatter and Dropkick were amazing Decepticons. They were so cool throughout this entire movie. Dropkick had just the way he carried himself and like acted like a real Decepticon and not some pushover Decepticon. It was just delightful to see Decepticons actually acting like good characters instead of just mindless drones. It was really great. Bumblebee and Charlie's bond, I kind of touched on this a little bit before, they work so well together, even though Charlie was acting with Hailee Steinfeld was acting with a tennis ball the entire time. She did such a great job with the interactions with Bumblebee. Bumblebee had so much emotion and character through his design and face. It was just, and that was probably to the help of Travis Knight, who's done so much in animation. except just with the clay figures in Leica Studios. So I'm sure he had some input on that, being able to make sure that Bumblebee had a very expressive face, and you just really felt so much emotion in this movie, but especially between Charlie Watson and Bumblebee. As far as the action goes, the action was not nearly to the level of any of the Transformers movies. The action was actually not present throughout much of this film. However, when the action does come around, it is done so well. The choreography of the fight scenes with the Transformers is just mind-blowing. It's very easy to tell what's going on. It's very easy to figure out who's fighting who. You actually have some like cool moves that the Transformers are doing when they're fighting, and it's mainly fist-to-fist, hand-to-hand combat, and not much use of guns, which is crazy because that's been a main feature in the other 5 Transformers movies. So a lot of hand-to-hand combat done so well. A lot of cool stuff that you'll be able to see when you're watching the especially the final fight, just done so well. And then the Cybertron stuff, that was what you would expect. It didn't take up much of the film at all, but it was very well done, very cool to see. And even though most of it was played while the lights were still on in my theater, so I'll get a better look at that next time I see the movie, but it was very cool nonetheless. Humor was mostly a hit. Maybe a couple missed jokes here and there, but for the most part, the crowd found it funny, and the jokes landed for the most part. Very different types of jokes from what we're used to with Michael Bay. Completely different type of humor. I mean, opposite spectrum of humor. And I consider that a good thing. Most of the humor from Michael Bay movies are toilet humor type stuff, and this was more just like, hey, that's funny. So, like I said, overall, this was such a good, well-done movie. Personally, I have a soft spot for the first Transformers film, and it did have more action, so that was, I think like it's the best action movie, the first Transformers film, but as a quality of a film, Bumblebee is the champion here, I feel. It's just so well done. It is definitely the most heartfelt crafting of a Transformers film. Just so much effort putting into this movie as far as how the Transformers feel as characters, and just the overall emotion, which was so surprising that it just got so like heartfelt and emotional during this film. So that's my spoiler-free review of Bumblebee. Make sure to keep an eye out for my spoiler review. I think I'm getting a cold right now, which is not good, so I feel like I'm not going to be feeling well tomorrow, which is, I'm recording this at like 12:30 a.m. right after I've seen the movie, so I saw it a couple hours ago, thought it was really good. I don't give score ratings on this channel, but what I will say is you need to see this movie. It is a good film. Go check it out in theaters. It is a Transformers film that many people have been waiting for. So that's my review. I will get the spoiler review up sometime in the near future because we've got a lot of stuff to go over for the hardcore Transformers fans. And make sure to follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And until next time, I'm Mike. See you guys.